I wasn't planning on doing this vlog yet, but I needed an easy read. So, like, bear with me. Now, in case you didn't watch my July TBR, I wanted to reread a bunch of books, in July. Some of them, because, it's just been a while since I've read them, and I want to continue the series. So, restart and all that jazz. And some of them because I just want to have a fun time. Now, for continuation of series, we've got Every Heart a Doorway by Sean McGuire, which is a short one. I know. I did read it for the first time in one day in my alphabet reading vlog, which I guess will be in the cards and linked below in the description. But I rated it 4 stars. I did love it. And I did mean to continue the series, but I just didn't have the time at the moment. But I do now. And also it's on Kindle Unlimited. As I checked, all of them are. So I can just like spend some time just reading all of them. So, you know. And then the other ebook is going to be Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa. Which I think I also rated that one 4 stars, and I really liked it. I think I'd like it more now after a year. I read it last May. And I do plan to continue the series, finally, in a few months. And so, in order to do that, I should reread the first one to get all the lore stuff. Like, did I highlight the lore stuff? Yes. But, like... And then the other one is Vampire Academy. Yes, I've already read this once this year, in February. Or is it March? One of those two. For the alphabet vlog as well. And, yeah, I'm gonna read it again. One, this is a different edition. This is the 10th anniversary edition, which means it has added stuff in it. But also, in case you haven't, like, seen my first ever weekend reading vlog, which was the Platypus book, you know, the one book this month that I've read. I have a plan to finally finish the series by spending at least once a month reading a book in the series, and sometimes twice a month depending on other things, for weekend reading vlogs. So basically read one in a whole entire weekend. The last time I read Vampire Academy for the alphabet reading vlog, I did read in 24 hours. So like, this is gonna be easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, the only ones I'm not reading to do the series, or continue the series, are Pestilence and War by also Laura Thalassa. I just had the urge to reread Pestilence. This is so small in comparison to the, like, look in comparison. I think War's like over 500 pages or something. This one's 364. This is the one that I'm gonna start today. Because stress and life stuff and all that fun stuff. So I just want a quick, easy read. And Pestilence seems like the vibe right now, okay? And then I just also kind of want to reread War. I did read Famine in the alphabet reading vlog. And then also earlier this year, I did read Death. And, you know, love the series. I think the only one I haven't rated 5 stars is War. So yeah, that is the plan. I am starting this today. This is gonna be a low-key vlog. Like, if I wanted to, I could totally read this in a day and like crunch all these in like a week or something. But no, this is gonna be very low-key. It's just gonna be me checking in. This is just an excuse to reread these books, basically. And it's not gonna be a set amount of time for the vlog. Like, normally I try to do them within a week or 2 weeks, depending on when I can get library books and all that fun stuff. But one, I don't have to worry about that because the 2 ebooks I'm getting from Kindle Unlimited. And 2, I have like the whole entire month. It's only the 8th. Yeah, it's only the 8th. So I have the rest of the month to read these 5 books on top of everything else. So yeah, I will be reading those. Also, I may mention me reading Pride and Prejudice because I'm also rereading that one. I didn't grab my physical copy of that, but that is also a plan for this month. a low-key plan. That's not officially planned, but like if I can get to it, I want to do that. So if that happens, that will be mentioned in the vlog. But yeah, for the rest of the month, I kind of just want to read these. Like, should I be reading the Brandon Sandersons because I'm very behind? Yes, but like also, I just want to read about a horseman that takes a girl captive and their whole entire romance. Now, I guess I should start, because I'm going to start this today. Ignore the throwing of the book on the ground. I should explain what the hecky heck this is. So basically, the world has almost been destroyed. Humanity has almost been destroyed with the apocalypse. The four horsemen are riding again. The first one being Pestilence. He has showed up again. He is killing people to bring the end of days. First will be Pestilence, then war, then famine, then death. So this one girl gets voted by the group of people she lives with to stay behind in the town when he comes for them to basically shoot him, try to kill him, except he's immortal. And so he takes her captive when her plan fails. And then slowly, like, their friendship grows, kind of like he takes her captive to show, like, force her to watch him destroy the world type thing. But then they grow a fondness throughout their time together. Because it takes a long time to travel across the whole entire North America, because it's Canada and the US in this one. It takes a long time to do that on horseback. So, especially when you have to stop every night because one of your people is, or one of the people on the horse is a human. So close proximity and all that fun stuff makes them grow a bond and a fondness and friendship, and a relationship grows from there. And basically her feminine wiles, that's the way to just say it, yeah. Her feminine wiles give him a soul in a way, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about it. I'm probably not gonna go into what the actual story is throughout it. Like, I'm not gonna update you on the story. I'm just gonna update you where I am or how much I get each day, and then have a fun time. Like, I could do this all in one day, 100%, but I just want to have a fun time. So that is the plan. So, like, remember when I said on Friday that I would update you? I didn't. I read 30 pages Friday. And then Saturday I read 25. And then Sunday I read 101. And then yesterday I read however much was left. The other half, basically. So, you know, that happened. And I still love it. I'm pretty sure War is like something like 500 pages. Like, if not in 500 pages range, it's close to it. And it's the longest of this series. And so this one just feels so concise in comparison, because I know, like, a lot of the other ones is taken up with more of the back and forth banter, and the chemistry, but also, like, when they actually reach a relationship, they all follow the same plan of, like, the main character meets the horseman of the book, and one of them tries to kill the other one, but plans fail, and then he takes her captive one way or another. Then they basically slowly fall in love a lot of the time, because other human beings are horrible and it throws them into situations, and then heartbreak. The girl's always trying not to fall for the guy. Usually the girl dies in the end and then is brought back to life, and he learns that losing her is like the worst thing that can happen, not giving up his path against humans, and then changes his mind and they live happily ever after. So this one's like very short in comparison of the other ones. It's like usually like an extra 100 pages on there of all that like actual romance stuff in the middle, like just extended. Is it technically needed in all the other ones? No. Like, it's fine in this one with just 364 pages of it, but we're fine with that. I think the only other one that has a similar amount of romance in it is the fourth one, because a good chunk of it, one, they're not with each other. Like, that was the most different, especially since it's a lot of her hunting him down type of thing. And then also the, like, the climactic end of the whole entire series happens, and all that fun stuff. So, like, that's the only one that has the same amount of romance as this one. And I noticed that this one didn't have as much romance, because I have read Famine somewhat recently, like within the past year, like it was last November, and I read Death earlier this year. So, you know, the urge to start war as soon as this ended was so strong. I was gonna read a different book. I was gonna catch up on the Brandon Sandersons, but I may read War instead, because a girl needs happy brain juice, and these books give it to me. I don't know what it is about these books. Like, I'm pretty sure these are independently published. So, like, I can excuse a lot of things, with the editing and, the page layout, because it definitely gives me vibes of, like, it was originally laid out for ebooks. And then when it was printed on the page, it didn't print properly sometimes. Here, I'll try to find an example where, like, it goes, oh, here's an example right here, where the previous line is like this, like the continuation of the past page. So, you know, but I can, like, excuse all that. This is just, in the words of me on my Instagram story, this is good soup. This is good soup. This is still good soup. I'm keeping it at 5 stars. I originally thought I wasn't going to. I thought I was going to bring it down at least to a 4, or at least to a 4.5, at most to a 4, because, like, I loved Famine so much more. But now I'm thinking about it, I don't even know if I like Famine so much more. Now I gotta reread the whole entire series. This is gonna be a thing that I'm apparently gonna continue to do this whole entire month, maybe. I just continue this whole entire series. Because, hear me out, I love this one. I know I love War too. It's just one, there's a slight bit questionable stuff with a white woman writing a person of color as the main character. But also, the fact that it's, like, so long for what? Like, you can, like, it's the longest one. It's clear that a lot of people were like, but why is it so long? And then she made the other one shorter. Like, the only one that's close to it is Death, and a good chunk of that is not their actual romance. It's the general plot of the whole entire universe. So, you know, there's that. But yeah, I'm keeping it at 5 stars. And I loved it. I really just want to continue on and go right into War. Like, I was gonna read maybe Every Heart a Doorway or Rhapsodic next. Like, maybe Rhapsodic because it's by Laura Thalassa still. But, like, I just want a fun time. And I know War is gonna give it to me. But the problem is, if I read that one, I'm gonna just want to instantly read Famine. So I'm gonna have to hold myself back for a good chunk. At least until I finish filming this video. But I will do it for you. But yeah, that was this. This was just, I wouldn't say really cute. It was funny. I laughed a lot. I think next time I read it, because I'll probably read it again in like 2 more years, I will highlight and annotate it. I don't know about straight up annotating, but highlight, because there's like a few lines I was like, you know, if I had started highlighting earlier, I totally would have highlighted this. But yeah, also the fact that all the fire and burn and all that stuff, metaphors and themes in this that I didn't recognize the first time. Hear me out. She used to be a firefighter before this book starts. Technically, the day that it starts, she was a firefighter. Her last name is Burns. She burns the horsemen alive. There's a story about her burning a bunch of, or trying to burn a bunch of mice, because she's scared of rats. And then, anytime there's a spicy scene, a lot of, fire metaphors are used for things. So, the way that I finally figured that out this time around. But yeah, I like this. I am probably gonna go Star Wars, honestly, like right now. And I'm not gonna say when I'm gonna update you, because, like, either way, it's probably gonna be a lie. Let's be real. So I'll talk to you when I get, probably at some point, maybe, hopefully, before I actually finish it. Like, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, me from the future to inform you that reading yesterday did not go as planned. Though I want to keep in the part where I talk about why I don't like war as much as the rest of the series. Well, I'm pretty sure I don't, despite the fact that I was only like 60 pages in at that point. So I think the way I'm gonna do this is that Little Me's gonna pop in right here, and I'm just gonna tell you, hey, it's gonna just be probably weirdly cut, but me just talking about why I don't think I like that book as much as the others. And then I'll pop back in. Future me will pop back in with actual plans, because none of the actual plans actually happened. So I didn't remember when I read the third and the fourth book. After I read Famine and Death, I didn't realize that the first book is very similar. And the second book is the most different out of all of them. Minus the parts with at the end of Death with all the other characters, like when everything ties together and all that fun stuff. That is, of course, different from everything else in the book, because, like, the only thing you hear about the other horsemen in the first three is when, in the epilogue, when the next one wakes up and they're like, oh, shit. But this one is very different for so many reasons. One, in, like, every single one, except for this one, the horseman has to be talked into believing, one, that they have the ability to love someone, and have an attraction for someone, but also that this is their person, despite the fact that, like, there's a sign from God for every single one. I know the sign of God in Pestilence is an angelic symbol that says mercy on her tent the day they meet, all that fun stuff. And for this one, Miriam has a I think it's an accident from her childhood. That's, like, what I remember of it, the first time I read it. But there's a scar across her neck, and that's how he recognizes that she's the one that has been chosen by God for him, or whatever. But there's also, like, angelic is in all of them. Like, they all have the markings on their bodies that are angelic symbols. And Pestilence does talk in the angelic language in the first one. And so does War. Like, the first time he meets Miriam, he calls her his wife in angelic, and he speaks to her a lot in angelic, despite the fact that, like, in one scene so far, he has spoken Hebrew. But she's able to understand them. I don't think in any of the other ones they're able to understand them when they speak angelic, which is interesting. But also, like, he already knows that they're meant to be, like, he knows that they're going to end up together. So one, what's his incentive to, like, end the world, or stop ending the world, if he already knows that they're going to end up together? And two, it makes it so, like, the actual chemistry and romance isn't, like, the female being like, yeah, no, he's attractive, but he's also scary. But slowly learning that while he's this attractive, scary guy, that they do end up eventually falling in love with him. First, it's just attraction and chemistry and that type of stuff. And the man, like, the horseman always, except for this one, doesn't find anything about her attractive until, like, a good chunk into the book. I think it was, like, halfway through the first book was their first kiss and all this stuff. And then in this one, like, he already knows it's gonna be a thing, and he clearly already likes her. So it's much more different setup for the romance aspect. And I'm just gonna say it, the other three, much better for that that route. I see why I dislike this book, and it's not just because that, like, this takes place in Jerusalem. This is not a culture or anything like that that Laura Thalassa probably knows about. Pretty sure there's an author's note about how all the research she does about this, but, like, the other thing is that one is so long. It's, like, just under 500 pages for my copy. I think the ebook copy is, like, 500 too. It's excessively long. I don't know why it has to be so long. And I think the reason why it's so long is all the characters. So in all the other books, they run into other people, like, when they stay at lodging or whatnot. They run into other people when they go through towns and cities. But those people end up dying within, like, 2 or 3 chapters, and then that's the end. Like, they don't stay in places long enough for there to be people very often. It's very rare that someone who isn't the main 2 characters is in the book for longer than a few chapters. And yet, in this one, War has, like, a whole entire army of people, like, thousands of them, and, like, all of these people are just around, and you have to do stuff with them, or else what's the point of them being there? So a lot of this book, it feels like it's just everyone else and not the two of them, which is weird because it's supposed to be about the two of them. And I definitely think I like the solitude of just the two main characters with occasionally running into other people type situation much more than the giant group of people. If I remember my favorite part properly, there's at one point War kills basically everyone. I don't know if everyone, but he does kill all the men of this group. And then I think he may let all the children and women go, but like, don't quote me on that. I haven't gone to that point again. But after that, it's just the two of them for a very good chunk of time until he realizes, like, he needs other people's help and all this stuff. So when it's just the two of them for that chunk of time, I'm pretty sure that's, like, my favorite part in this book, at least from the first time I read it. And even after that, when he gets more people to help out, there's much less than them. There's, like, thousands in this current army. So there's like maybe 100 total, I think, the second time around he does this. And he's definitely more selective the second time around. So even then, like, it's even better than what I'm reading now. But, you know, whatever. I think they're having like their first person-to-person conversation since he's taken her. That isn't with them being surrounded by a bunch of people. So that's interesting. I just want the romance, honestly, at this point. And it's only 59 pages in. It's somehow slower than the first book. And I think that may be because it's just so big. And so much extra stuff in here that doesn't need to be here. And it is just, in comparison to the other three, it is not not really disappointing. It's still good. Like, I still like it. It's just not as good as the other ones. Which is sad. But, you know, I'm still gonna read it and have a fun time. And the future me is back. Here we are. I am 80% sure that what I said yesterday about War was gibberish. So, like, let's see how well that was. But, yeah, I basically read nothing yesterday. I think I read, 3 pages of it yesterday. I did read, like, a whole entire, like, novella. That's what the +1 over here is. But, like, that's it. I did read another, like, 10 pages of this today. But I have, different reading plans for this weekend. So in order to do those, I need to finish this by Friday night. And it is Thursday at like almost 2 p.m. on Thursday. So the plan is now to get a good chunk. I want to try to get to page 300 today, but I don't think that's going to happen, in all honesty. But 300 would be a good 230-ish pages. And that would leave me about 190 pages for Friday. So that is the current plan now, because screw yesterday. But yeah, that's what's happening. Nothing really has happened in the actual story itself since the update I gave you yesterday. So, like, I'm not even gonna bother telling you anything. Just like, no, that's the plan. I will now try to update you tomorrow on me hopefully getting a good chunk into this book, and then again on Saturday morning with my final thoughts, because I will finish this Friday one way or another. So yeah, that's the now new plan. That's the current plan now. This is gonna be quick and dirty. But I did finish it. I didn't update you that first day, that Thursday. I think I read something like 150 pages. I don't know, I got to page 290, or was it 190? One of those two. Yesterday I read like 100 or 300 pages, just under 300 pages, something like that. I don't know. I read a lot yesterday. I did finish it. It's good. It's still good soup. Still, this is apparently the thing I'm going to say about this series when I reread it. But ignoring the sounds of the dogs downstairs. But I already went on like a 10-minute rampage on why I don't think this one's as good as the others, so I'm not even gonna bother, even though that was like only 60 pages in. Basically, still not as good as the others, still enjoyed it, but yeah, I'm keeping it at 4 stars. I wasn't sure if I was gonna bring it down to 3.5, but I think I'm gonna stay at 4. Still liked it, but like, not my favorite in series for sure. And that's that. Also, why does it have to be this long? Like, why? Anyways, I am going to be doing a different video this weekend, and then next week is very packed. Yes, it is the end of July, Tuesday 26th to be exact, and I'm wearing a hoodie. In my defense, I don't feel good, and also it's kind of chilly today. It's like only 77. Imagine that. I got to do it in a long time. I think last weekend before this weekend, I filmed a different vlog, and I took a break from reading for this vlog in order to do that one, and then I was busy with other things until like Friday when plans got changed and all that stuff. And so Friday I started reading Vampire Academy. We're gonna ignore my first turning self on. I have read 91 pages since then. Some of that, I think like 4 pages of that was today, because I was in the middle of the chapter where I left off yesterday, but I went to bed. Which is about a quarter of the way, I think a little more than a quarter of the way through the normal version of this book. But because this one's so much thicker, because it's like an extra, what, 150 pages or something like that, I think the original edition is like 350 pages, and with the 4 stories that come with this edition is like 500 pages, somewhere around that. So like, it's a good chunk bigger. The good news is I can read the general story really fast. This is, I can see the gray line in here where it breaks up into the short stories. Yeah. This is where it breaks up. This much is all extra content. So like, this, I could probably finish all of this today, if I tried to, which I may, because I do gotta finish this vlog. Like, I have not done much in reading. We are not gonna talk about how this has changed, but that's fine. The current plan is to finish this either today or tomorrow. I don't know which one. I kind of feel like I'm dying today, so possibly tomorrow I will finish it, but it will happen. And then after that, I will actually read Every Heart a Doorway. Should I, hear me out, I'm pretty sure the last clip I filmed, I talked for like the 3rd time I gave the synopsis and general rundown of Every Heart a Doorway, because I had planned to read it before I read this one. But I wanted an easy read, and this one's easier than that one for me, because I've read it like a dozen times. And so, instead of saying that all again, I'm just gonna just like take that part and just drag it after, you know, just move that to when I start Every Heart a Doorway, so I don't have to give you the damn general rundown of that book again. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna finish this, and I will update you probably either when I get to the part of the short stories, because that part isn't a reread. I may save that bit, because technically that part isn't a reread, so I may just read all of this and then do Every Heart a Doorway and Rhapsodic, and then finish this, but not in the vlog, because that technically isn't a reread. That may be what's happening, so that I can get this video up in time. But that's that. That's literally, I have nothing to say. Like, and that's fine. We're gonna live our best lives with that knowledge. And I'm gonna say, see you when I get to that point. I have to figure out what page. 332. I'll let you know when I get to page 332, when I actually finish the actual typical novel of this bad boy. But yeah. Okay, we're gonna do this fast because one is supposed to rain at like any second. And also it's very humid up here. but I did finish the book itself. I haven't read any of the short stories yet. But the actual novel itself, I did finish. I am keeping it at 4.5 stars. Because there's a few moments where I'm like, okay. Like at one point, when it first brought up that Rose was the one to feed Lissa, where she was like, well, we didn't sleep together, of course. And I'm just like, and then people, like, called their friendship, like, lesbian voodoo sometimes, like, a few things like that. But I still love it. Keeping it at 4.5. I love her. And all I'm gonna say is, poor Mason. I forgot how much he was in the first book. Which is weird, because, like, he kind of reaches almost main character level in the second book, and then things happen. But the last 100 pages, not even the last 100 pages, the last 50 pages of this book are so hectic. Every time I forget that it's just crazy, because, like, the last 100 pages starts in the scene where they go to the mall, which is fine and all, but the important thing is that the mall scene leads to her breaking her ankle, which leads to Lissa healing her, which leads to Lissa's kidnapping, which leads to everything else, and including the one steamy scene between her and Dimitri, and yes, and I'm just gonna leave this off. I don't really have anything to say. I love it. Like, is there any surprise that I still love it? No. And I'm just gonna leave you off with the greatest quote from the movie adaptation. Yes, I was looking at the trailer, like, right when I started to read this is when the trailer, first trailer for the TV show came out, and I was like, give it to me, I need it. But the only good part about the movie is the grade A line, via Rose, that is not in this book. They made it up, and that is sweet, sassy Molassy. I love it. I love it more than I should. And that's that. I am now, like, this is nothing to say. I just like it. So, the switch to past me, like, the third time I gave the synopsis and whatnot of Every Heart a Doorway, I do not know if I am going to start it today or tomorrow. If I do, like, either way, it's going to be done tomorrow. I'm going to finish it tomorrow. So I will update you when I'm done. It's very short. It's less than 200 pages. So there's not really a point of me updating you in the middle. And that's that. So, like, cue me talking about it from the past. I don't really have much to say. I do remember the whodunit part of the mystery aspect. But I think I'll still, like, really enjoy reading it because the atmosphere in general in that book is great, and the world building, and just the general writing that Sean McGuire does. So I think I'll still really enjoy it, despite the fact that I do remember who done it, who's doing the murders. That is kind of the whole entire plot. It's kind of like a mystery, but also in a fantasy world with portals and kids who have gone through these portals are back in our world afterwards, and them trying to reacclimate into normal society and all that fun stuff. But yeah, I do remember the whodunit. And so it's not going to be a surprise, but I'm interested to read it again with knowing the whodunit. And trying to, like, notice things that make it obvious or connect it and relate it to her. Because I feel like with Sean McGuire's writing, because I've read a few of her things previously, I think that with her writing style, it will be, now that I know who it is, more obvious, and I'll be able to, like, connect the dots and be like, oh yeah, that, yep. I was just a dummy the first time I read it when I didn't put all these together and figure out who done it. But yeah, I think that will be a fun time. I do, of course, they took it off Kindle Unlimited as soon as I went to read this book, of course. But I did have it on my iPad. I'm pretty sure I bought it the last time I read it, so it's on my iPad still. Okay, we're gonna do this fast because I am on sprints. But I just finished Every Heart a Doorway, and I'm up in my reading. It was originally 4 stars, but I'm putting it to 4.5. There weren't as many hits of who the killer is as I thought there was going to be, but there still were plenty. And I annotated the living daylights out of this. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I think the next book in the series follows Jack and Jill, which I'm intrigued by. So, there's that. Now my fridge turning on, dear God. So there's that. But yeah, I'm upping it to 4.5. It's still good. It's like, I mean, clearly I upped the rating, but I still really like it. Pretty good. I should continue the series like soon before I have to reread this again, because like they're all pretty short and it's fast read, super fast. Like I could read 50 pages in 45 minutes. I did that once when I was reading it, but it was good. I recommend if you can get it, because I took off Kindle Unlimited as soon as I went to read it because they're so nice. And speaking of which, on to the next book, the last book, which is Rhapsodic. They also did that for that one, which is fine. I did buy that one for $3. I bought the ebook, which I'm fine with because I did enjoy that one, and I originally rated that one 4 stars. I like wrote out an actual review for it apparently, and I don't know if I want to keep it or not, so we'll see. But this one follows Siren. Honestly, I don't remember what anyone is in this book. This is why I have to reread it before I continue the series, honestly, because I don't remember anything. But not really an ex, but like a dark guy with wings, kind of devilish, helps her out when she's a kid with some situations. Now she's like a private detective for the magical world. I think she's got a werewolf for a boyfriend. And then a bunch of girls from his land go missing, and then when they come back, they're like mute. Like they're basically in kind of like a Sleeping Beauty or Snow White curse, where they're like asleep, like in a coma type thing. But I think there's also things with like them giving birth or something. I don't know. And so he hires her to come and help figure out what the heck is going on. And then things happen between their relationship and also in the world, if I remember how it ends properly. And yeah, that's how it goes. I did annotate, or I didn't really annotate it, but I did highlight a bunch the first time, so it's gonna be interesting looking at those. I think it took like 100+ pages before I started highlighting it, so that's gonna be fun to see where I highlighted and what I thought was important back then. But can you tell I have like nothing to say? Can you tell? But yeah, I'm gonna go start that. I don't know if I'm gonna update you halfway because it is Friday and I want this video to go up on Sunday. So in order to do that, this needs to be done reading best tomorrow. So I don't know if I'll update you halfway. Maybe if I have like something really important to say, like, oh my god, I love this book, which I'm assuming I'm going to go back into it and love it, because it did give me a little bit of ACOTAR vibes, a little bit, okay? Like, he reminds me so much of Reese, and how could I not get the ACOTAR vibes? But I actually like ACOTAR now, so you know, maybe I'll like it more the second time around and have a good time. And you know, I'm fine with that. Listen, we gotta read some good books. It's kind of chunky though. It's like 430 pages, which is a lot more than I expected. But I'm going to read that, and if I have really important things to say at the halfway point, I will. Otherwise, I'll see you when I finish it, and we'll go with the basic rundown of everything, as per normal, of the vlogs. So I'll see you one of those 2 times. Well, this be cut up weirdly. Possibly because my sister's doing stuff downstairs, but in our defense, it's early in the morning, earlier than I normally film, because I need to finish this vlog. If you couldn't tell, it's a new month and things have changed from the nails alone. We don't need to talk about it. I did finish Rhapsodic last night though, so we're gonna talk about it. Also, it's like super early in the morning, so I'm going to drink my coffee. You can't stop this. No, I'm rhapsodic. What were y'all here to talk about? Yeah, it's good. I'm keeping it at 4 stars. I was right that Callie is a siren, and I was mostly right in the synopsis that I gave, or rundown that I gave. Not really a synopsis. I was just talking because I didn't really remember much. But I was kind of right. Basically, it's a back and forth between her past and current day with the bargainer, who is a fairy king who makes bargains with people, and the deals usually end up with them giving things that like hefty things, important things, things like that. And she has made 322 deals with him, I believe is the number. So a lot. Usually like the payment is usually an action that you can't stop. So like he could make you kill someone or something. But also the payment could be a secret and all that fun stuff. And so it switches back and forth between her past when she was 16 and they had met after a traumatic experience. It like starts off with it. I'm just gonna say it, after she kills her stepfather in self-defense. Like the prologue starts with that. So at that point she's only 15. So she gets him to make a deal with her despite his best interest, because like she's a minor technically in the magic world. 16 is being an adult, and he's like, I don't want to make a deal with minor. I have rules. And then she gets him to help her cover it up anyways, but part of it is that he doesn't make a deal with it. But then later on, the magic starts to wear off and like the police are looking into it, so then she has to like call up the bargainer and actually make an actual deal to get the whole entire situation fixed. In the past, also when she was 15, when he fixed up like the whole entire murder, he also made it so she could like go to school and all this stuff. Like he really helped her out, and I know why. So he takes the deal, they do that, but then she realizes, one, she can't, like, normal people and her don't really mix, and two, he is good company for her. He fights away her demons, is the way she describes it. So she constantly calls him back, makes deals for him to stay with her and like hang out with her, like almost all the time. He travels the world with her and a bunch of other stuff. And the whole entire time it said to Dad that 7 years ago is when they stopped being friends. And a little bit into like, I think like around 75%, maybe 50%, it's mentioned that's the night of a dance that they stopped hanging out. So yeah. And then current day, she is a private investigator with her best friend. She uses her signing abilities to get people to admit to their wrongdoings and gets paid for it. And she's also dating a werewolf, but like she doesn't really like him like that. And he's already brought up the fact that he wants to like make her part of his pact and all this stuff. And she's like, I'm good. But then the bargainer shows up and is like, hey, I'm here to take repayment. You got a lot to do. And then it turns out there's like a secret thing where all the female fairies in the, I believe it's 6 kingdoms? Day, night, fauna, flora. Is it 6 or is it 4? I don't remember. But basically all the female fae, especially warriors, are being taken. Well, all the warriors in general are being taken. No one knows where the males are going. The females are being put into like a sleeping coma type thing, but they're not breathing, but they're still alive and also impregnated. It's fun. It's been going on for like 10 years. He's trying to figure out what's happening and he's trying to use her to figure that out, especially since like the kids of these women are like weirdly vampiric type situation. And so yeah, there's that. That's the actual rundown. the romance aspect of the book is great still. I loved it. You know, it's good. I stand them, and I just want them to be happy. Thank you very much. Now, the plot stuff, it's fine. Like, it's not bad or anything, but like, I don't really care. I don't know if it's because I've already read it before, but I don't think so. It's just in the background as a thing. For me, it's more of a background thing. Well, the romance is definitely more of what I'm there for, despite the fact that it's a fantasy first and a romance second, technically. But for me, no, because I don't care about the actual plot stuff that much. I'm just here for Des and Kelly, okay? And that's that. So I'm keeping it at 4 stars, and I'm happy with that. Time to go for the basic rundown of everything one last time. And then this vlog is gloriously over. On the 3rd of August, you know, the day it goes up, it'll be talk about any of this. First up was Pestilence. Also my 4th last. So, I was not expecting to still love this as much as I did originally. And honestly, this is now a game of, which one, like, how do I rate them in order? Because before, I think I had done it Death, then Famine, then Pestilence, and War. But now, I'm thinking, I mean, I'm going to try to continue the series. I'm going to try to reread Famine this month. We'll see. But, the order now is going somewhere around Death, Pestilence, and maybe Pestilence, Death. I don't know which one. But 3rd is Famine, and then War. So, yeah. I like her a lot more than I thought I was gonna still like her, because like it's been a while. It's been a while, fam. But she's still good, and we love her for that. Also, she's gloriously short, especially in comparison to the next one. So 5 stars. Like, why is it 500 pages? That's like my main complaint. I mean, there's a lot of problems I have with this one, and I've already written down them, so I'm not going to go through it again. Though I didn't mention the surprise pregnancy plot point. Yeah, that's what makes him most human of all, is the fact that he is gonna be a dad. I mean, it's fine. We still love her. But like, she's not on the same level as the rest of them, fam. And we're staying at 4. I'm trying very hard not to spill my coffee. Can you tell? I'm doing a very bad job at it. Then there was Vampire Academy. Yes, I have finished the short stories by now. There's like an extra 100 pages. That's why this is so long. In this 100, I think it's 200. What am I talking about? Extra 200-ish? 150? Somewhere around that. Because it's the 10th anniversary edition, so it has like 4 short stories at the end. And the first one is the longest one, I'm pretty sure. It felt long, okay? We're not here to talk about those, but I don't think they meant to make me laugh. It's fine. We don't need to talk about it. And those didn't affect my rating at all. So, yeah, it's still good. I've already read it once this year, and before this year it was sitting at a 4 on Goodreads. I don't know why I had it there, but I upped it to a 4.5 since then, and I'm keeping it there. It's still good. There's still some questionable things, like saying, of course, they're not lesbians. Like, why would they be lesbians? And also, the mentor-student relationship. But we don't need to talk about that. But yeah, she's still good. I still love her, and I don't know what else to say about her. Like, everyone already knows that I love her, and I will be finishing the series, so help me. I think I've already said that once in this video, but that's fine. Then there was Every Heart a Doorway by Sean McGuire. That one, I originally had rated 4 stars, but I upped it to 4.5, which was surprising. I think because the first time around, I was more interested in the mystery aspect, and I was like, oh my god, okay, interesting. I didn't really pay attention to the writing style and the characters in general. And so this time, because I already know the whodunit part, I was paying more attention to that stuff in general. I mean, also I was annotating it, but I was paying attention to that stuff more, especially since I was trying to see if there was like a hint earlier on the whodunit portion, all this stuff. Basically, I just had a fun experience, and I appreciate it more than I did the first time around, and I love it, and I should really continue the series, especially since they're all really, really short. I do recommend, and yeah. And then, of course, Rhapsodic. I kept at 4 stars. It's good. It's not the best thing I've read, but it's good. And, you know, at some point, I will continue. If you know anything about me, you know the second book is on my DNF list, so that's... but yeah, no, I'm gonna get to do the series at some point. So, because it's kind of left it open ending, but we'll see. But yeah, that's the rundown. I didn't do an average rating of all of them in my head beforehand. I'm gonna assume it's around a 4.5, 4.25. I do the math really, really fast. But yeah, we're not gonna talk about how long this took, and we're just gonna talk about how my Goodreads, my Storygraph, and my Instagram are all linked below. Basic rundown I'll give you, like I do every time apparently. If you want to stay up to date of how much I'm reading every day, I'd say Goodreads. If you want to stay up to date on what I'm reading, books, I'd say a mix of the two of Goodreads and Instagram, but more Instagram, because I do post what I'm reading or what I'm reading, vlog books beforehand on my Instagram stories, so you can be ahead of the schedule and see what I'm reading things, and also figure out what I'm filming at the time, you know. So those are all linked below. Like and subscribe. I never actually say that, but apparently I should. And I'm gonna go finish my coffee now while I edit this. So thanks for coming to this hectic time. We don't need to talk about anything. We're just gonna leave it in the dirt. Thank you.